Welcome, everybody, back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is a series we've been waiting for. We might be the only people waiting for it, but we've been waiting for it for like a year. And it's Summer Pockets. It's a JUN MAEDA key anime show that is done by the same team who brought us legendary shows like The Day I Became a God, like Charlotte, like Angel Beats, like those are shows we have seen, or shows like Canon or Air and things like that. And this is based on I believe, a visual novel. And from what I know, it's a good story. It's pretty good.
I hope so.
And I'm expecting all the JUN MAEDA trappings of baseball and
if we don't have baseball,
terminally ill girls.
Baseball, terminally ill girl, weird semi-supernatural plot twist like 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah. And what else does he do? Random hyperfixation on some weird, like, industry or something.
Yeah.
Like photography or ramen shops or whatever else. Gambling.
Yeah.
Things like that. But regardless of what that is, I know there's going to be baseball. I know there's going to be some terminally ill little girls.
And there better also be some music. There's always music.
Yes,
There's
music.
always music.
Yes. Let's see what happens this time. We're very excited for this. JUN MAEDA is one of our favorite creators, and we were very sad when Day Became a God kind of fell off a cliff. But even if this show does fall off a cliff,
it was still fun.
It was still
disappointing, but it was fun.
And if nothing else, I just hope that it's not JUN MAEDA's like last project, because that was, as bad as Day Became a God ended, it was still a decent show to watch, and he definitely didn't deserve all the hate that he got. For those who don't know, the writer of this show also like wrote another previous show called The Day I Became a God, and it ended low quality or like kind of bad, and then the internet just like overflowed with hatred for the creator, and then he like completely retreated and was saying that he never wanted to work in the industry again, so it was really bad. So it's a very good thing that this is coming out, and even if it's not as good as like Angel Beats or Clannad, for example, or Charlotte even, then I think I'll still be happy with it if we get a first few episodes. We also recorded our reaction to the OP like a few months ago or something, and we just never posted it because we just didn't. And but I'll post that soon. I don't know. We'll see. But let's check it out. Leave a like and subscribe. Let's check it out. Whitebird Island.
さしずめ俺は傷ついた渡り鳥かなんて
There's a random old lady.
誰が傷ついた渡り鳥って俺があんたがなんで傷ついてるからどこが
In my heart. Oh, literally.
Go through a breakup or something? What is this guy?
Magic butterfly.
It's probably the main girl. Somehow. What did I say?
What? 口に出てましたか。見る風景だけど懐かしいってそういうことってありますよね。それはあれやな。デジャブ。え
What?
デジャブじゃないですか。そうそう。デジャブ。
Not quite.
Just like, okay.
And I forgot the other element that's often present is time travel to some degree. So that explains the nostalgia and deja vu, maybe. Maybe it'll be something like that. what the hell? It's like real water effects.
Like the soundtrack. It's giving summer vibes.
Cat.
Good cat, too.
Does he have like an Airbnb set up, or is he just walking around this town?
Maybe he's going to stay with some family.
Summer pockets. Even the title looks classic. Like, even has like visual novel music.
That was so good. Dusty.
いえ、今の心境にはぴったりの部屋ですよ。差し詰め俺は傷つい
Stop saying odd shit.
She's just like, why did I say to look after this guy?
親戚ですか?
Conveniently, she's your age.
変わり者だった祖母が先月亡くなり、生前に世界中を旅行して集めた遺品が蔵にたくさん残されていた。中には家族の思い出に関わるものもあるので、まとめて任せるわけにもいかない。親戚の中で暇のある人間をよこそうということになった。それが俺だった。去年までは一日だって休みはなかったのに。
Like a competition swimmer, and he just choked and drowned.
Did they just go to the store, or did she just have all this?
はあ、なんかわかります。え？え？そうだ、いいところがあるわ。ハイリ君、バイク乗る？免許なら持ってますけど。坂を降りたところに食堂があるのよ。そこ美味しいよ。
It's pretty fun.
Old TV.
俺は、すいません。ハッピーなデートをお願いします。
So you can be happy? Is that your plan here?
What an odd first episode this is.
おもち。ハッピーなセットって頼んだと思うんですけど。に行けるんだからハッピーだろ。え？
What did you think it was gonna be? He's like, this doesn't make me happy at all. I'm still a wounded bird.
He's gonna run somebody over. He's being watched by the blonde girl, by the blonde tsundere in the lighthouse. What a actually incredible vibe for the first episode of a show. It's very daring. Oh, I bet he went to the school when he was a kid.
He forgot about it.
He forgot about it. His secret childhood friend that he doesn't know about, like Kotomi. Oh, right. I remember this from the trailer.
Are you
She
drowning?
just dies. Oh no.
誰？え？ああ、高原はい。それで君は？え？名前。
He's the bird and she's the white on Whitebird Island. Torishima.
泳ぎの？それは私のセリフ。はい。 藤さん家に帰りたいんだけど。
坂原さん家じゃなくて。
ああ、違う。高原ね。
坂原。
いや。
Why does everyone like mispronounce things on this island?
ごめん、もう行くよ。
北坂を戻って突き当たりを右。3つ目の十字路を左だから。
ありがとう。ところで、なんで夜なんかに練習を？ないからやめた方がいいよ。誰もいないプールで足でもつったら。
おい。
え？
どすこい。
じゃあ、道を教えてくれてありがとう。
The fuck did you just say to me?
Really good glare going on.
どう？じゃあ。
はい、予想外でした。あ、ところで、どすこいって何ですか？
どすこい。
あ、なんかすみません。
島の方言ですごくしつこかったり、鬱陶しい時にどすこいって言ったりするみたいですね。しつこい。
ってしつこい。
Oh, there's the baseball. I just realized.
Already.
I hope there's more. There's got to be at least one baseball episode.
もしもーし。起きてください。
This.
もう8時ですよ。はじめまして、海です。
あ、君が親戚の子だね。俺は高原愛理。よろしくね。
こちらこそお願いします。高原さん。どうぞ、召し上がれ。
朝からチャーハ
私が作りました。
ン？へえ、す
シェフ
ごいね。
じゃんけんぽん。負けた。ズルしてるな。
でどうやって
Oh.
するんだ？
What?
Wow.
That's a dumb way to do it.
青にグーってなっているときはグーを出すし、チョキってるときはチョキを出すから丸分かりなんだよ。
待てよ。じゃあパーってグーを出せば勝てる。
Not if you tell
な
him.
んだけど。
じゃんけんパー。あ、どうして？ならグー、やっぱりグーを出せば。
Classic child.
ならこれでどうです？
これは無。
じゃんけんぽん。
All right, one chore, one day a week.
Yeah.
ま、島を楽しんで。素敵な出会いがあるかも。
素敵な出会い。
Look at that little thing. So cute.
Oh, right.
She's got a butterfly.
うん
だけだよな。いや、おおらかすぎだろ田舎。
It's like a Pokemon.
犬？
A dog? Maybe.
危ない。
So dumb.
おはよう。
手ごめにするつもり。
最終的には激しくてもいいと。
Worst guard dog ever.
It's a creepy looking thing.
Look at that little thing.
2時。あ、なんでわかったんだろ
She's magic.
Magic.
う。海はすべてを飲み込んでくれる。見知らぬ土地でひと夏を過ごす小さな不安も。
The hell is that? Is that himself?
お前、そんな格好で。
Is that himself?
危ない。
Oh no.
危ない？
You spit at him?
警告マーク打ってきやがった。
Ooh, Playing water gun fight.
She's not wearing a shirt. Can you relax?
Clearly that's illegal on this island.
ご実家からですか？
Picture of him
ゲームだったんですか？
going back to the pool.
See if that girl's dead from drowning in the pool.
Not great at swimming, by the looks of it. She really should not be practicing at night. She looks like she's actively drowning.
I mean, with all likelihood, she's just a spirit haunting this place, so we'll see where that goes.
どこが
Oh, he's gonna train her up
Yeah.
to be good at swimming.
And then her spirit can move on, because she probably drowned to death. If she's a spirit.
あのさ、手はしっかり伸ばして、伸びきった時に少し間を置いて、それだけを意識するだけでだいぶ違うはずだから。それじゃ。
There's like a lot of girls in this one.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get more of them. They seem like the fun part. That was a decent first episode.
Yeah.
I feel like the main character isn't as like vibrant as a lot of the other main character guys. Like a lot of them have been like self-insert, but like they always had a kind of like edge to them. Like even if it was overly edgy at the start, like
Yeah, like in Charlotte, where it's just like excessive amount
like that
of
was
edge.
yeah, but it like the edge, but he was less of a self-insert, I think, than other key anime show guys. Like, what's the name of the main guy in Clannad? I forget his fucking name. I can't remember his name for the life of me. I'm spacing out. I do know it, obviously, but I can't remember it right now. But he's the most clear, like, self-insert guy, but even he had, like, a lot of, like, you know, you get some things with his dad and at the beginning.
And then especially later on in After Story, when he's like...
But After Story is a different story.
It's a different thing, but yeah, the start...
As far as, like, a first episode thing, like, you get a lot more sense of him as his own character. I think you get that with this guy, with Takahara, but it's, like... Even to Day Became a God, you know, he was, like, I don't know, maybe his performance, I don't know what it is, but, like, this guy just seems a lot more bland, even than a lot of the, like, because every main character is, like, has a little bit of blandness to them, because they're a visual novel guy that's kind of just there for the player to self-insert with, and, like, interact in this world with all these girls and stuff, so, like, it's to be expected, but I feel like it's kind of another level where he feels a little bit more dry than, like, the other ones that you can compare to. And I feel like that goes for a lot of the girls as well so far, at least judging by this first episode. They all seem very dry. Except for... I feel like, it's a little bit like fan servicey with the girl who is sleeping, but I feel like there's maybe a funny dynamic that could happen here. And obviously with the beach part, that this seems like this kind of vibe is what I was looking for with the show. Is I want to see more of this.
Yeah, I think
the romance is fine, but it needs to be dots of romance in between shit like this like weird stuff,
Yeah, what I feel like this vibe to me, this gives me like Charlotte vibe, like this part of the story, because I feel like with Charlotte, like you're saying, the main guy that is a little bit less self-inserty, and it's more of like the core cast of characters goes out and like finds the person. It's not so much about, there's the romance, but it's not, this seems like a mix of multiple things. Like it seems
way more about the romance.
It seems a little bit more like Clannad.
Yeah.
Whereas Charlotte and Angel Beats were a little bit more crazy and like action, whereas this seems like Clannad, but then there's this sort of element that I feel like if it's expanded on a bit more, could be really funny. And yeah, if the girls, get a little bit more personality, you know, that can be fun as well.
Like in Day Became a God, the same, like here there's a dynamic form between the guy who's like a swimmer and he like maybe drowned or failed or something, and then he needs to go away for summer break to get his mind away from things. And then there's the girl who's like trying to learn how to swim. And it's kind of a similar thing as in Day Became a God, where there's the guy and then he's like takes in this girl and they like, I don't know, they bounce, but it was way more comedy focused. I feel like that's where you get really attached to them, because like she's just out of the gate and Day Became a God just started saying crazy shit and just being silly and dumb and wild, and it was just funny off the get-go. But in this one it feels like they're going way too hardcore with like the romance aspect of it, and it's a bit much just out of the gate.
I guess it depends what you want. I mean, some people.
It depends on what you want, sure,
like
but I guess it's being different, you know. It's not exactly like any of the shows that came before it, but it feels like.
But similar to a lot of them.
Similar, yeah, but they're all similar to each other, all the key anime shows. But yeah, this definitely feels more. I guess it feels. I don't know what word to use for it, but like a lot of the other ones felt kind of less self-serious. This is so far, at least just judging by the first episode, and they are just like it's a visual novel, so they need to introduce all the first scenes with all these different girls that you get a feel for, and then then in the visual novel I imagine you'd like choose which path you go down, or like you choose where to go for the day, and then you interact with like one of these plot lines, and then I think we'll get like pieces of each of those probably. Yeah. And so it's kind of necessary in the first episode if you're going to introduce like a lot of the main kind of love interest type or like storyline things.
All the different options.
And are they setting up his like aunt or whoever this is as like an option?
I don't think so.
It seems like they kind of are, but I can't really tell. Because I don't know how they're related. It's like it's his grandmother's stuff and then it's her grandmother's stuff. But she said Obasan, so it could be grandmother, it could be aunt, it could be like her, like, you know, that's like his cousin or something like that, or like his parents' cousin, and so it's her grandmother and his great grandmother, or her aunt and his, or you know, I don't know. Anyway,
I'm interested in how the like clearing out the shed is kind of gonna come into play. Like, I feel like that's like a clear setup for like
the main
we're gonna
plot.
find some like cool shit in the shed that look at that thing.
Yeah, a little monkey.
Like, we're gonna find some cool stuff in here that is gonna like help like within each of sort of the little like storylines that will go down. We'll find something in the shed that is like relevant to that and can like help them.
Well, that's why I was thinking that this is like she's like a potential choice, quote unquote, or she's a storyline you can follow in the visual novels, because this is kind of like a focus that you can do sort of as part of the storyline with her, and then it comes to fruition. I don't know if it'll be like romantic with her or what it is, because I don't know how they're related, like I said, but you know, everyone has like a thing that you can follow along, and then you get to know them slowly over time. And you know, if this was just a normal show without being based on a visual novel, I would think that like that'd kind of be part of it. But I don't know. We'll see.
I think so far pretty good. Maybe a little bit toned down compared to first episodes of some of the other shows.
I liked the vibe of the first half. But
it did feel very like, really got the vibe that he was like coming to this island and it's like the summer and he simultaneously has stuff to do but doesn't have stuff to do and is like thinking about other things but also enjoying the island and also like kind of being like all like, oh, I'm gonna be like introspective on this island and I'm gonna think about, I'm gonna be like poetic vaguely, you know, like I feel like I could really get the vibe of what it's going for. And I'm interested in like definitely seems to be the supernatural element. I'm interested if the swimming girl is gonna be a ghost, or you know, because we also have this old lady that, so like if she was a ghost then maybe she like knew the old lady, or you know what I mean, like, some kind of connection, like, oh, there used to be a girl that, or my sister used to go swimming at the
if it's thing, like because his grandmother just died and maybe like that's the ghost of his grandmother or something like that, you know, and there's some weird shit going on there. I don't know. you know.
And there was a weird thing where, like, she was saying something wrong and the old lady was saying something wrong
Yeah, exactly.
as well.
It seems like
are they the same person? It's weird, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of, like, in terms of Jun Maeda's writing, there's been a lot of things like that where it's like, oh, is it a ghost? No, it's not the ghost, it's her. Like, with Fuko in Clannad, where it's like, oh, she's like, it's her ghost, and it's like, you don't know she's a ghost until you know she's a ghost. But then she's not a ghost, she's a, you know, she's just the spirit of a girl who's in a coma.
Yeah.
You know? And then they have all these interactions, and then she wakes up eventually, and then they don't remember any of that. Mm-hmm. But it's, like, referenced, but it's not. You know, like, there's a weird thing like that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And, what was it? Oh, and in Angel Beats as well, where there's kids from all different eras and shit. Like,
yeah.
And then, I guess I don't want to spoil all of Angel Beats, but, like, there's people that died at different times or after somebody else, but were there before them, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's just kind of gets kind of fucky, and it's more just about the vibes, and you know, he seems like he's the kind of writer that just kind of goes with it as he goes, and then fits it together at the end in a kind of somewhat satisfying way. But yeah, one thing I really don't like is, like, the lolly fixation. And maybe it's just that I'm not used to it because, you know, when we were watching a lot of key shows, like, there was a lot of more petite teenage girl, like, romantic sort of focus and stuff like that. It was always weird to me, but it's like, I guess maybe because we're a little bit more removed from that now than we were
at the time.
Even at the time we were watching more different kind of things. It's kind of a shock, I guess. I don't like it. I think it's kind of weird, but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I'll get over that, and I'll just try to enjoy the show for what it is. But yeah, it is a little bit odd.
Yeah. I feel like that's always been the way for this kind of thing, but then at least in, like, all the other shows, the story is just so, like, good and emotional, you know?
Yeah.
That you can kind of look past it because it's not just, like, nothing dressed up in, like, you know, what is appealing to some people. It's like actual good show with the kind of unfortunate aesthetic.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. But yeah, I one thing what I want from this show more is more comedy, more wild insaneness that Jun Maeda is known for.
Yeah.
I like his emotional stuff, but when it's just the emotional stuff, it can feel kind of heavy.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of, like, I guess, like, early Clannad, like, once you got into After Story, Clannad gets, like, it gets a lot more emotional, but it's a lot more deep because it's focused on one of the paths in the main story. But, like, for the first part of Clannad, a lot of it feels like kind of shit because it's, like, jumping around all these stories, and there's not as much of that crazy for every story. There's not as much of that crazy comedy in every story, like Kotomi's story and some of Fuko's story, which Fuko took up, like, a big chunk of the first, like, eight episodes or so, or something like that. And yeah, like, some stories like those are a lot more. I mean, Fuko's a little bit crazy, but, like, Kotomi, I guess, is a better example of just toned down just the sort of emotional part of it, all that, without that emotion, without the funniness and, like, the insanity of, like, the rocket chairs and Angel Beats, or you know, all the different things. It can feel a little bit bland when it's just that. But when you get Jun Maeda's, like, crazy, like, the Day I Became a God, like, the what was it, Mahjong episode, and the ramen episode, and the rocket, the exam episode of Angel Beats,
the guild episode,
the
of
guild
Angel
episode
Beats.
2 of Angel Beats,
almost the entirety of Angel Beats, honestly, and
Angel
that's
Beats
why Angel
is
Beats,
like, insane.
The Angel
on that
Beats,
level,
because that's the thing. It's like Clannad is very
Grounded.
emotional, very about, like, the visual novel, the romance, like, and, like, kind of romance, but also just kind of friendship. But, like, you could see how, like, say that was, like, the true ending. You know, there could be something there, but a lot of the cases, it's just like, now we've gone through your thing, and now we're, like, the best of friends. But, like, you know, Clannad is very like that, at least for Clannad Part 1. And then, Charlotte is not really super romancy. It's clear who, like, the main girl is from the start.
Yeah.
And they're like a team working together, and there's all these different people, and it's about the interactions within the group. And then and it's about, like, the action and the mystery and, like, the sci-fi element, you know? And then the reason why Angel Beats was just so elite is because it was like, it was just so crazy, but it also has like the super emotional things, and so does Charlotte, I guess. But like
they're both those two are both the most similar, I think. And then like Clannad and I imagine Air and Canon and a lot of these other ones that we haven't seen are a lot more kind of like this. But I guess that's where it comes in. Is it's just like because this is so clearly in the format of all of those other things, you want to see. Like either something that's going to be different, but like you kind of know what to expect. Yeah. So you know, I don't know. I feel like we're getting down like a road of complaining a lot, but it's like
it's such a blank slate from this first episode that I'm just saying like I know it's gonna have these elements, and I'm hoping that it brings in some of this craziness that we really like.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. Yeah. I still think there's a lot of potential for it to like scratch that itch, and it like the vibe in the first half here where he's like first arriving and it's summer, like some about he like walks in and she's like watching TV and they're just like chilling. It feels kind of,
and even just some of the like awkward pauses I feel like is very nostalgic to those other shows where it's just like the type of humor that it is kind of strange, but like I really like it, you know.
And the whole thing in the restaurant here, that was kind of similar to that as well. I don't know. I like it. I think that it does have potential. It can be, you know, it can really get in that that vibe. Yeah. And it proved it with this one. Leave a like and subscribe. See you next person.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye bye.